Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It is the Monday before my staycation. So today I've got to do any last minute stuff to try to be not worry while I'm on vacation. Um yeah, we're gonna try that. Jen just noticed that you can hear me. Yay! Um she's my awesome backup person. Wow. It's coming up on the end of the year. I mean, like, it's in less than 10 days. Less than 10 days. It will be January. So I did a couple of posts, like on my blog and on my newsletter, about what I'm looking forward to because I didn't want to talk about, what I've accomplished and things like that. Because there's tons of those, and sometimes they make people feel like, um, well, I didn't accomplish, and they start to, compare themselves to other people. So today, before we read another chapter of If the Seas Catch Fire, I want to talk about the struggles this year, and I had a few. Um, I've been dealing with my health, and I will be getting probably having surgery in the first quarter of next year. Um, but hopefully that will decrease some of my pain and uh, and hopefully I will stop being anemic with this surgery. So that's a plus. Apparently my body is vampiric, or things that happen inside of my body are vampiric. Um, let's see what some of the other struggles. I've been dealing with some writer's block, actually editor's block. Is what I'm going to call it, not writer's block, because I really wanted to get the box set out this year, and I couldn't do it. I didn't realize after I published the second editions of the first two books, I was like, okay, I've got one more story that's included in the box set that needs to get done because it's also the lead magnet and it'll be easy peasy. Yeah, it's just one little story. It's short. And I didn't realize until I opened it and really took a look that it was a rough draft. And so I was essentially doing revisions, developmental edits, professional edits, line edits, all on one story, chapter by chapter, or scene by scene. I literally broke it down to scene by scene at one point because it was so difficult to get all of that done. And hi, Heidi. Been editing and avoiding taking a food break. Oh, take a food break. Go get some food. You need fuel. It helps the brain. It helps the brain. So, but yeah, no, that has been really hard. I think my Virgo perfectionism was coming out, and I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and so I needed to keep looking back and go, hey, you put out a brand new story this year. You published a brand new book. You published a, a lead magnet for that. You then did second editions of 2 books, so give yourself some break, and I've been trying not to push myself so hard. So that's been a struggle because I want to be further along than I am on it, and I fully admit there have been days I've just put it off my list. I've just been like, I don't want to go there today. And so been dealing with that. But otherwise, I'm starting to decrease my psych med. So, because my depression is doing pretty good. I did a lot of soul searching and working on the reasons why I say I'm sorry so frequently. Been working on my sleep. So been working on myself. A lot of work on myself this year. But finally got the last bits of my dad's estate stuff done. So that's good news. But yeah. So there have been struggles. I think so often, we promote, hey, look what I got done, look what I got accomplished, and we don't talk about all the, below the surface stuff that we had to go through. I lost a friend this year. We weren't super friends, but he was the husband of my best friend. And I literally had to go over and help clean up the blood because he died at home of a hemorrhage. And so I literally went over there and cleaned blood and took the mattress out of the house. And yeah, so that's, and the thing is, I know she would do the same thing for me. She would come over and do the same thing for me. So she's doing better. Grief is a process, and she's doing better. It didn't help that she also lost his cat like within a month of his passing. So it's like, I guess they wanted to be together. If I seem a little tired today, I forgot to take my night pill that helps my insomnia last night, and so I woke up before 4 a.m. this morning. If you saw me posting on Instagram or Facebook this morning at an early hour, that's why. It was me going, should I wake up? Should I try to take a nap? And I can't take a pill because if I do, I am not waking up until the afternoon. Jen can contest to that. If I take a pill at that kind of hour, I'm done for the day. But we did get a new bookmas tree for our house. We call him, he is the goth tree from Squishables. If you haven't been to Squishables site, I highly recommend it. I have 3 Squishables? 4 Squishables. Because we have Fluffy, which is Cerebus. That was my first one that Jen bought me. And then I have my Plague Doctor Sebastian. And then I have Hannibal, the Death Head Moth. And now we have Goth Tree, which we have been butchering O Christmas Tree, the Christmas Carol, to O Goth Tree. But he's surrounded in books and he's adorable. And So he'll become a part of our yearly tradition now. Um, but he'll be decorations. Just pop him out and run. Yeah, yeah, that's our decorations. There you go. My front porch looks completely barren because we brought in all of the plants that normally sit out there, and so our front porch, I cleaned it. I swept it and everything, and so there's no cobwebs now, no natural decoration from my friends. Um, and so it's kind of barren up there, but that's okay. Um, let's see. I picked a word of the year for next year. Some of you guys might know that I did a live vision board video. You can catch the replay of that. And so my word of the year is compassionate. Um, and I also picked my word for next month. I pick a word for the month as well. And my word for January is ease. I am done with my planning for January and Q1. So, yay! Except for, little things that will pop up, like doctor's appointments and things like that. But we are almost done with the cookbook. I am waiting for the vote to finish. And then we will put in December's recipes. I am probably also going to ask for some things from our spotlight authors. And Jen and I are co-writing a serial based in my PIR world. So she's going to start writing urban fantasy mystery with me instead of cozy mystery. She writes cozy mystery. And hopefully this next year, I'm going to encourage her to get back to her book and do the hard part. Because she was able to draft it in no time. Now comes the hard part. It's like, yeah, drafting was easy. Well, for some of us, drafting is easy. I think for me and Jen are going to be that way, where drafting is easy, and where the editing is the hard part. And for like my other roommate, drafting is the harder part for her because she wants it to be so. It's just the harder part for her. But she loves the editing and all of that, and going back and doing the revisions and all of that stuff. So, yeah, we're exact opposites. But yeah, hopefully I can encourage her with co-writing this mystery, that she might get back into her mystery and get it published by Blackbird Books Publishing. But yeah, um, so I've got some good stuff coming up for you guys this year. I got a couple of goals that I want to get done this quarter. So yeah, I'm taking it one quarter at a time, 1 month at a time, and just kind of being kind to myself. So the cookbook should be coming out in January, and fingers crossed, and and then hopefully the box set very, very soon. So I will probably be taking my vacation in February because it will probably be medically induced vacation. So haven't been drafting for a very long time because trying to get through edits of next book, since yes, I drafted too many stories myself, and I have been in editing land for a whole year. A whole year of editing land. I did draft cereal for my coffee readers. They got a story about one of the characters in um, in my PIR world. So that was the closest drafting I did this year. It was very small, but mostly I've been in editing land. Yeah. It's not my favorite land. I don't like this board game. I would like to get off this board game. Because it's like shoots and ladders, you know. Like, fuck. I'm sorry. Uh, so yeah. But yeah, I got some things to look forward to. I'm trying to decide if last year I watched the sunrise on New Year's Day. So this year, I don't know if I'm going to do the sunset on New Year's Eve or the sunrise on New Year's Day again. Or both. That's true. I could do both. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Don't know what I'm going to do that way. But I am going to enjoy the next few days. I'm taking off Tuesday through Sunday. And yeah, no sprints on Saturday and Friday. I am going to try to step away from the computer. And because the problem is that some of my dopamine comes from making lists and planning and checking things off the lists. But that looks like work, and it can accidentally lead into work because I can get very focused. And so this time I'm going to try to be away from the computer and hang out with my puppy and may go to a museum to go sketch, may go to a coffee shop. We might go to a coffee shop and watch shows and just veg. Taking a bet on how long that's gonna last. Jen is taking bets with the other mods to see how long I will last. I will probably get itchy at some point. I will probably get itchy. And want to get back to work and feel productive. But I'm a Virgo, so we like being productive. I know you want to go outside. I know. Go ask the other mommy. Can you go ask the other mommy? Why would you do that when you're right there? Go ask mommy. Go ask the other mommy. Yeah. Go ask the other mommy. Is she coming? Is she coming? I did send her gravity off the couch. I'm taking suggestions on glamming up my office space. Jen thinks I should put the family photo up. Not the one with me. No. You don't like taking pictures. And? I'll put a little raccoon near it. Okay. But I only have so much wall because I also have this thing over here. The slats. Yeah. Come look in the camera, Jen. This is how much wall I've got available. Well, when we move the crow, we put the family picture where the crow is. We can do it. So I'm taking suggestions for glam up. I'm going to declutter. Probably some of the thing I'll do while I'm on vacation is declutter and glam up this area. Which is working instead of chillaxing. It's chillaxing. What am I supposed to do? Chillax, play Skyrim, read. She doesn't like to let them stay out there until they say they're ready to come back. Hey, Jay. Oh my goodness. This is children. If they're quiet, they're up to something. This This is our day. Get up. Let the puppies out. Sit down. Get called back to the door to let them in. Uh-oh, what were you doing? But yeah, let me pull up the book. We are on chapter 3 of If the Seas Catch Fire. If you would like to hear the other previous chapters, there's a playlist. Tea Time, If the Seas Catch Fire. If you'd like to hear the previous books, they have their own playlist as well. So here we go. Chapter 3. The first weekday after Christmas, in the weak Seattle sunlight casts a dreary shadow over the famous skyline as I peer out the vast picture windows of my conference room. I hear an exasperated sigh from the whiteboard-covered table behind me and glance back to see a college ring on wide, dark knuckles gleaming in the lights above as Cass, my business partner, taps an aggravated rhythm on its surface. He studies his watch and rubs his bronze-ringed palm over his shaved, deep brown hair. Our current client, Miss Morin, is over 20 minutes late. She negotiated an exclusive privileged client clause in our arrangement, stipulating that we can only focus on her projects while under contract with her. I know, I say over my shoulder, trying to placate Cass. I force myself to keep from pacing with nervous energy by taking a deep breath. The spa perfume of the offices calms me after filling my lungs. Jacqueline's business tone drifts to us from down the hall, expressing her apology for something that isn't altogether clear. The clever administrative assistant does her best to hide her clenched fists and tight-lipped expression as she ushers Miss Morin inside the room. Miss Morin, thank you for meeting us today. We have a few concept designs that we're excited to discuss with you, I say as I round the table. She towers above me, her tan hand tipped with crimson nails, grasping mine in a limp handshake. My grip is tighter than I believe is professional, but she's everything I'm not, and it puts me in a mood. I catch myself envious of her business suit complements her athletic build as Cass rises and grasps her hand gingerly, his large palm enveloping her smaller one. We sit at the table, then I move the stacked conceptualization boards near, and picking up the first, I upturn and pass it to Miss Morin. This idea is whimsical, inspired by Pixar's building. I describe the best board concept. Miss Morin doesn't even let the board touch her elegant hands, hardly glancing down her nose at it. I fill a crystal glass from the pitcher of fruit-infused water from the middle of the table and take a slow drink before continuing my presentation. She shows me no motion, so I flip over the next and shift it towards her. This design is comparable to architectural choices popular in the area. She inspects the board in question from the same distance as the first, giving us no idea of her thoughts. This last one we're especially passionate about. It's becoming more and more difficult to stay professional with how dismissive this client is being, so I try and really punch this final choice. It's always so nerve-wracking to put your creations up for judgment anyway, but she's giving nothing at all to work with. I think Cass picks up on the anxiety of my sudden silence when my lips snap shut unexpectedly and I can't think of anything else to say. We anticipated some insight on your desired direction. Cass peers over at my panicked expression and shrugs his shoulders when she doesn't immediately respond. Miss Morin shifts through the project boards with the tips of her crimson nails. The glossy prints and samples flutter in the diffused pearlescent light as she tosses one by one aside from her, sliding them towards us in a repellent gesture. I hired your company because you're new and independent. I believed it caused you to be ravenous. She reaches over to the pastries Jack placed on a platter on the table, chooses a lemon mousse raspberry macaroon, and lifts it to her painted lips to nibble a bit before continuing to bash our hard work. These designs don't read hungry to me. They scream safe and dated. I want you to wow me. She rises, an annoyed goddess dismissing us in our own office. I'll reschedule another meeting with your secretary out front. We remain in stunned silence, an expression of disbelief on Cass's face that I'm sure matches my own. I can't sit still with the rage and energy rising inside me, so I push myself up and stomp around the room. My heels sink into the plush carpet as I dodge a chair, circling the table. I've not failed a client before. Thoughts of my mother wasting her money and life on reoccurring multi-level at-home sales jobs causes me to shiver in repulsion. I'm not about to fail at my business. My chest fills with determination and I spin to face Cass. Back to the drawing board. His eyes narrow at my statement. We're going to put up with that bratty attitude from sanctimonious stick figure? Cass! I admonish him for his choice of words and what it implies. No, we'll be professionals, and we haven't botched a job yet. I'll not surrender, not today. All right, I agree. The stick figure comment was wrong. Everyone comes in various shapes and sizes. But Mal, that behavior is unprofessional. Admit it. True. She was late to a meeting she set up. She has us by the short hairs with this exclusive clause. I can't control the client, but I can try to win her over with incredible designs. I'm not ready to give up. Cass rubs his head again and makes a noise of agreement. Let's order lunch and put our heads together. Now that's the idea I can get behind. Too bad Raven doesn't deliver, he laughs. No kidding. New Year's Eve. The crisp, wet evening air tinges my cheeks as I walk towards the Kempton Hotel in downtown Seattle. The holiday lights wrapped around trees and buildings, giving off a hazy aura like miniature stars. The Kempton is a shining beacon of grandeur, lit with sparkling lights in the gloomy laden sky. The doorman spots me and opens the grand brass-handled door, admitting me into the warmth and opulence of the lobby. I shake the wet from my jacket and hand it off to a coat check attendant, taking in the holiday perfume filling the air. Raven requested I show up before the celebration tonight in the bar inside Kismet, the hotel's restaurant she once worked for. Little did we realize she'd end up drafting 2 cookbooks instead of being a personal chef when she left Kismet. I spot a notice board placed outside the bar on the elegant parquet floor with an exquisite script that reads "Special party invited guests only." My best friend is glowing with happiness, her brown hair curled and pulled away from her face. A peach cocktail dress hugs her curves, and the color complements her light tan skin. She's chatting with the bartender, catching up on their lives since she quit. He nods at me, causing Raven to swirl on the stool. She throws her arms in the air as she launches herself across the floor at me. I brace for her impact, her vanilla scent filling my senses. As we clasp one another tightly, we jump and screech in glee. I can't believe it, she chants repeatedly. Her joy is contagious as it fills the surrounding space. I know, let me get a look at this ring. I extract myself from her embrace. Beaming, she pulls away and lets me reach for her hand and hold it up to the light. I fawn over the vintage floral, rose gold petite ring with a carat major stone and accent smaller diamonds set in a leaf and petal shape around the main diamond. It looks just as pretty in person as it did in the picture she sent me over text. It's gorgeous and perfect for you. Oh, Mallory, she chokes up, unable to complete her sentence. Tears of joy shine on her dark lashes. I squeeze her harder for a few moments. If I didn't know their story, the idea of Travis proposing after less than a year might be a red flag, but they've been through more than I'll ever know in a lifetime. Stalkers, vindictive exes, crazy mothers, homicidal PR managers, and that's just the first few months of their relationship. It's clear what they have is strong and lasting. Where's Travis? He's off with Nash, Tony, and Steve doing last minute stuff. Why did you need me early? You were my best friend, and I can't imagine doing this without you beside me. Will you be my maid of honor? Maids of honor are usually married, right? Maids of honor are single girlfriends, and anyway, I couldn't care less about tradition. I need you to be with me when I take this big step forward. Say you'll do it. Her eyes swell with hope and expectation. How can I say no to her? Yes, you always have me. She jumps up and down with excitement. You are incredible, and you won't regret this. She hugs me tightly. This calls for a drink to celebrate. She leads me towards the bartender for two fuzzy navels on the rocks and introduces me as her maid of honor. We chat about my new client, Selma Morin. Raven's horrified at Selma's conduct and agrees with Cass. The peach and citrus tang wafts up as I lift my glass and drink. She has an online cooking show idea and plans to help at a food pantry. I swell with excitement for her and offer my support. She giggles at me, the pleasure in her eyes popping champagne bubbles. It turns as if She turns as if someone's called her name and gazes at the doorway. I see Travis gazing back at Raven. His shocking baby blues fill with intimate emotion so strong my throat tightens. I spot Tony smiling at them and shaking his head at the same time. Then there's Steve, his tall, lean, muscled frame encased in charcoal slacks and a tight gray shirt under a sports coat. He's beaming at me, and his tawny eyes darken as I stare into them. A flirty smile curls his lips, and I grin at him despite myself. He takes his time, coming to me until I can sense the intensity of his body before he's even near enough to touch. He reaches around me, and his woodsy scent envelops me as he snags my highball glass in his large hands with the nimble fingers that constantly make me shiver with passion and what he'd be capable of with them. He raises it up to his nose and sniffs the alcohol as the ice cubes rattle. Sweet. May I? With a yes, I watch him lick the rim where my lipstick imprints the glass. A frisson runs through the length of my body. He sips and smirks at me and returns the glass to the napkin on the bar top. Did you say yes? I'm unsure what I said yes to until he nods his head at Raven and Travis next to us. Oh, yes, did you? My voice strains from the hunger coursing through me in waves. Oh, yes, his husky tone gives me the impression that he's as primed as I am. Noise from the entrance interrupts the moment we're having, and I draw my first deep breath in what has to be forever since he entered the room. I reach for my drink and graze the rim with my tongue, tasting him and my lipstick mixed with the orange and peach liquor. He's watching Travis and Raven dance to the music coming from the speakers with a smile on his face. There's maybe longing in his eyes. I slip off my stool and leaning into his face whisper, "Dance with me? I dare you." He turns and takes my hand, leading me to the dance floor. I thought you'd never ask. I suppress a grin. Someone had to get the party started. He holds me close, and learn quickly that he's an excellent dancer. It's easy to let him take the lead. My body heats, and my center grows heavy with need. When are we going to move beyond flirting? I can't be the only one who feels this. He moves his chin into the space between us as we dance among a growing group of people. You're not alone. My voice is breathy and lower than I've ever heard it. Do you have a room? His heartbeat intensifies under my palm, and I feel his chest rising and falling as if he's been running. Yes. Is it yes to both, Mallory? Conviction of a Conviction and a challenge fills his eyes, asking me to not disappoint him with a wishy-washy answer. Yes, I nod to reinforce my decision. He pulls us out of the dance, and with his hand entangled in mine, we make our way to the exit. Steve, you got a moment? Tony sounds contrite. This is important, and he hates to interrupt. Steve peers at me, asking me to wait for him. A small trickle of irritation flows through me, but is gone in the feel of Steve's hand brushing down my arm and squeezing my hand in reassurance. I've waited, wanted this for so long. I guess I can wait a little longer. I nod at him and let the guys move away while I spot some friends nearby to chat with. Steve can find me when he's done, if he's still interested in taking this further. So that was chapter 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't read If the Seas Catch Fire, highly recommend it. It's my baby. I was very mean to Steve. Uh, but it was lovely to plan Raven and Travis's wedding. My Pinterest was full of wedding stuff there for a while, just planning their wedding, planning the girls' dresses, all of that stuff, found the ring, um, and thanked the ring creator because she's an Etsy seller, and it was a beautiful rose gold ring and perfect for Raven. And yeah, so that was so much fun. I enjoyed that the most about If the Seas Catch Fire was getting to plan Raven and Travis's wedding. Raven and Travis are the couple from the first book. They're the couple that started it all. They're the core group. So they're in Into the Fire, and then Tony and Anna are If the Fire Inside. They're the second couple, which that book explains where Tony went in Into the Fire because he had to leave for a special reason. And so, yeah, this third one was basically me paying off the fact that Steve and Mallory have been flirting since the first book. And you can follow their flirting through the books. And so this was me paying off Steve and Mallory's flirting. It was also me tackling the darker side of the Me Too movement, because all movements might start with the best intentions, but can go dark very soon because there are always people that are going to use it to their advantage, to hurt somebody else. So that's one of the themes in this book is the darker side of that kind of movement and how it can be used to destroy lives. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that and hope we can get back to that. I should be back for the next tea time. I should be back for the next tea time on the 30th. And we'll get another chapter in. So I hope to see you guys then. Take care. Have fun. I hope you have happy holidays and very little drama. Hope your meal turns out beautifully. And wishing you all the best. Mwah! Be safe, everybody.